And that question, that what is our story, leads me to a wonderful book that I read recently by a good friend of mine, Kaiser Johnson. The book, How to Be Miserable and Alone, or Discover a Life That Truly Matters. Kaiser is a very fascinating friend of mine, a brilliant mind who also happens to be an actor, and an amazing actor at that, who has been in all sorts of TV shows that you might have heard of, like Stranger Things, or that movie, or there's the Transformers anime on Netflix right now that he's in, and he was in that pro-life movie Unplanned, had a pretty big role in that one. So he's had a very interesting life, and he's not old. He's in his 30s. And when he's writing in this book, he's talking about all of the things that he's done wrong, how to be miserable and alone, and then speaking with the wisdom of the ages, the wisdom of the church. And there's my favorite chapter in this book is, do you mind if I read a bit of that?
Okay, I mean, yeah.
My favorite chapter is when he's talking about exactly what our story should be. And he doesn't say it in that way, but when I read it, I realize this is what our story is supposed to be. My daughter was created out of love of her mother and myself. This baby is our love incarnate. How can I not love my love? If I want to love perfectly, how must I cherish this love incarnate, this tiny immortal soul in my care? How much must God, who is perfect love me and cherish me and care for me? God made us sharers in this act of creation. I had one other vision, that the one I recounted in the chapter on marriage, and again, I feel as weird saying this as I generally feel about other people telling me that they've had visions. It was around that same time, before I even met my wife, I saw myself and a wife in old age gathered together with our children, their children, and several babies who might have been their children. We were inside, and yet above us stretched the stars and the whole universe, beautiful and terrifying and shocking in its immensity. And the universe was torn open slightly, in a gentle way, not a violent one, and my family stood in that cleft. And I was staggered by this realization of what I was seeing, that while God created all these lives, these incarnate souls standing with my wife and me, so had we. The only reason these people had come into existence was because God had shared his power of creation with us. This God, who made himself father to me, created every single thing that is beautiful: the stars, the sky, the planets, sequoia trees, Zion Canyon, the endless waves of the oceans, toucans, peacocks, dolphins, whales, lions, leopards, coral reefs stretching for miles, rhinoceroses running on the Serengeti, and then turned to me and said, "Here, now you try." That's who my daughter is, a beautiful creation. Through the grace of God is a union of time and eternity. And that's who I am, and who my parents are and their parents. I remember my dad teaching me to ride a bike, which in my case was a long and laborious process that he patiently stuck through, and how much he celebrated when I finally stood upright on my own and rode circles around the elementary school parking lot on a Saturday. I think of my wife and me giving our daughter crayons, drawing a few things for her, showing her how they worked, and then handing them to her. "Here, now you try." She scribbled, and we thought it was the best thing anyone had ever done. If I can dote like that, how much does God, a perfectly loving Father, rejoice and celebrate when we live out the beauty and truth and love that we've learned from him? So, it's not about marriage. It's about the beauty of the created universe that we're a part of. There's good in this world. That the sacrifice that is bringing a child in is worth the sacrifice. The sacrifice of striving to create this quest and take the ring to Mordor and destroy it is worth the sacrifice. The responsibility that it entails to be a parent is worth it. The responsibility that it entails to be an artist or to be whatever you are is worth it. We're fighting for something that is of great import, and it's worth fighting for. We have stories, and our story needs to be better. Every person's life is a story, and our story can be better. As Christians, as Catholics, as artists, our story can be better than the anti-story that's out to get you. I don't think we have time. I wanted to read a bit of the Similarian because this exactly speaks to this idea of what you're talking about. But we're out of time, and I'm sorry. it's a quest. It's a wonderful enterprise, and we're all a part of it.
Yes, and unfortunately, we are running out of time here.
I wanted to say I got you a book.
Oh, you got me a book.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
That's different.
And thank you, Kaiser.
It's different from mine. I wanted to get you one, Peter.
Ah, yes.